Hey everybody, I am back at the nursery just in time to shovel some snow, and I thought this was a really great time to do a video because normally when you think of nettas, you think of beautiful flowers and plants and everything's growing and green, but that's not the case year round. Right now, we have a lot of prep work to do before those plants arrive for the new season. So I thought this year I'd give you some behind the scenes looks at what goes on around here, getting ready for plants and taking care of those plants. And so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go inside the greenhouse where it's a little bit warmer, and I know it's warmer because one of the first jobs I did was replace the batteries on my Wi-Fi thermometers. Now this handy gadget is a thermometer that also measures humidity, and it's Wi-Fi enabled, which means I can use an app on my phone to track the temperature in all of the greenhouses whenever I need to, which I have to say, in this kind of business, the most stressful thing this time of year is fear of not being able to control the temperature, because if things get too cold in one of the greenhouses, we can lose every single plant in there, or we can have heavy damage that gets very expensive. So we don't want that to happen, and it keeps us up at night. Now fortunately, I can set this so that it'll send me alerts at different times if the temperature gets too high or too low, and it also means that if I wake up in the middle of the night, which I tend to do, and I'm having a little bit of panic because I know the temperature is dropping, I can just check this and I'll know whether the plants are safe or not safe. So let me just show you right now. If I open this up on my phone, I can go in and I can check at any time the temperature and the humidity. And as expected, greenhouse number 2 is the warmest greenhouse. That's because it's protected by greenhouse 1 and 3. And then greenhouse 5 is the coldest, and that's the one that's the most exposed. So that's pretty normal. Now, right now, the humidity ranges between 56% and 68%. Now, once we start getting plants in there and we're watering regularly, we see that humidity really go up. And then when the sun comes out, it gets really humid in there. So it's kind of an interesting thing. The nice thing about this app too is that it also has graphs, and the graphs allow us to kind of see kind of how things were over the course of the last 24 hours, the last week, the last month. So it's very convenient to have this, and it does save us a little bit of stress. I just wish I could set it up so that like big alarm bells would go off if the temperature got too low. The next big job before we turn the furnaces on is getting all our vents covered. So in the summertime, these are critical to moving air through the greenhouses and cooling them down so that they don't get to be 130 degrees. But this time of year, we need to get them sealed up and secure so that that cold air isn't blowing through. So these here up high had to go and get those sealed up. Some of them we have on hinges, so we just closed the panels up, and then the garage door needed to be closed because we're not using 3.5 for at least another 2 weeks, so we don't want to be heating a space that we're not going to be using. Next up, any surface that comes in contact with plants needs to be sanitized, and we use a 1-part bleach to 10-part water solution, and we spray it on all the benches, shelves, gutters, anything that might come in contact with those plants, and that's going to help us prevent diseases. There are also select areas that we'll be spraying with an insecticide, and then other areas that we spray with something that's more of an antibacterial, antifungal, kind of stops moss and algae and things like that. The thinking behind using those sprays now is that we'll be less likely to have to use sprays when the plants get here. So we're trying to be preventative so that we're reducing the amount of sprays and chemicals that we have to use on the plants themselves. In addition to the work we're doing inside, we also are monitoring things on the outside. So you see the snow built up along the side of the greenhouse there. That's actually just fine. Right now it's serving as an insulator, but if we get more than that, we probably will have to remove some of it because that weight could end up either breaking the plastic or bending the frames. We also have perennials and shrubs inside this greenhouse, so we are checking it every now and then to make sure the voles and other critters haven't gotten in there. And then we also have our evergreens over there, so we're checking to make sure the deer don't get into that area. And then it's just kind of keeping a general opening for everything else, but lots of snow lately. This list of jobs doesn't even include all the things my mom and dad have been working on, like my dad had to bring in all these bags of soil. There's 40 bags in here, there's another 20 bags outside, and when we're ready to use those bags outside, we have to bring them in basically a week ahead of time because it takes that long to thaw them out. Otherwise, we're chipping away at them, and that is no fun. My dad's also been sharpening all the little snippers that we use. My mom's been organizing her custom orders for 2023 and also kind of keeping track on the shipments that are coming in. And let me tell you, once they start, they come fast and furious. So last week was all about the hard goods coming in. Next week's all about plants coming in. It just gets kind of crazy around here. But I'm going to try to keep you kind of up to date on all the behind the scenes stuff. I will admit that keeping plants alive trumps videos any day. So if I disappear for a little while, it's because we're really focusing in on the plants and just don't have time for it. But wanted to let you guys know what we're up to right now, and thanks for watching, everybody.